you were a Skid Row bum. Mercedes McCambridge was the first one. She went before Congress, the gal who did the voice in Exodus, and talked about it. And I thought, that's a good idea. You know, I'm just a middle-class guy who got trapped by it. And we talked about it. And then I ended up making a movie for David Wahlberg called Morning After. Anybody ever seen it? Put a lot of research But we had a big argument with the National Council on Alcoholism who wanted a happy ending. And in this, the guy does not make it. But I talked to a lot of guys who've been in rehab. They show that movie, and it kind of scares them sober.
Right. Well, and continues to speak to people today. So
yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, today, if you haven't been to rehab, you're nobody.
I want to just jump ahead a little bit in terms of the years, because I was really startled when I read you talk in the book about Diagnosis Murder. 10 years on the air.
The longest I ever had it.
Woo!
What was the secret to that show? It seemed like it was a combination of a number of elements that with your character.
Well, I took nepotism to its ultimate extreme. I had my entire family on that show. But I had my son, Barry, and we just loved working together. Then I had my grandkids, and my kids, and everyone else. But it was Hallmark produced it, and they were, I think, the last production outfit that did family movies. They were the only ones, so I went to them with Diagnosis, and I think mostly it was the chemistry between all of us. Charlie Slaughter, it was just we ran a very loose ship, but we just had fun doing it, and I think that's what came across in the film.
Right. And it seemed like your character had a little bit of everything. You know, he could be the serious and a little goofy at the same time.
It was kind of Rob Petrie with a jacket.
Towards the end of the book, you write something very interesting of yourself, and you say, I want to read this one back to you also and have you comment. You say, I'm called to private, a loner, tough to know, not by design. I'm like Stan Laurel and Buster Keaton, and wary of expressing too much of a sensitive, gooey center until an opportunity arose to put a smile on someone's face.
Did I say that?
You said that.
That's very good. I don't think I'm hard to know at all. You know, Mary said that about me once. I thought, how could you? We were such good friends. I don't know, there must be something going on. I don't know what it is.
Do you feel, do you think of yourself as a loner?
No, I'm anything but a loner. I can't stand to be alone. No, I've got to have a partner. I've got to be around people.
And yet, obviously, another level on which you identify with the Buster Keaton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In your self-reflective mode in the book, there's also two great things at the end of the book I'm hoping you'll comment on. You say the Buddhists, you quote the Buddhists, say three things matter in life: something to do, something to love, and something to hope for.
Yes, I think that pretty well sums it up.
Yeah. And it's been that, you've had an evolution in your religious beliefs, having gone, I think it was at a Presbyterian church that you were?
Yeah, raised in a Presbyterian church.
And attended for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and was it just a question of reading that you sort of discovered the Buddhist philosophy?
Yeah, I just like that phrase because that kind of boils it down. But I have to tell you, last night I was out in Huntington, was at the Barnes & Noble, I think. And no, it wasn't a Barnes & Noble. Back in the late 50s, I lived on in Brookville, Long Island, and I taught a Sunday school class at the Dutch Reformed Church out there. And these old bald people will come up and say, I was in your Sunday school. I mean, they were 13 years old. Really made me feel old.
Before I get to my next philosophical question, I just want to actually jump backwards for a little bit about a film that so many people here I know love, which is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Again, the Sherman Brothers?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
And but a slightly different experience than filming Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you just talk about that a little bit? You know, I mean, it's certainly a film loved by many, many people and a lot of fun, but perhaps just had a different feel during the making of it.
Well, I think the difference was Walt Disney.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they offered me that movie 2 or 3 times, and I kept turning it down. I said, it needs that Disney touch. He just had it. He, you know, the kid in him, he never lost the kid in him. That's how we got along so well. His inner child is what ran his life. And he thought like a kid. And he just knew what to do. He had the touch. And I kept thinking, you know, this is the James Bond people who produced that movie. So we had that great special effects crew. But I kept thinking it needed something. But it just turned out great anyway with the Sherman Brothers. And it was, the funny thing was, I think it took 3 or 4 months to shoot Mary Poppins. It took over a year to shoot Chitty Bang Bang. Mostly because there's no sun in England.
Well, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was turned into a Broadway musical. And what I'm wondering is there any chance that we're going to get you back in New York on Broadway?
You know, I never saw the stage version of Chitty.
Oh, did you?
I've never seen it. I see the cars for sale for about $2 million. But, you know, I appeared in the stage version of Mary Poppins in Los Angeles. I went and did a guest as the old man, and I didn't need makeup. just for the fun of it, and it was really great fun. But have you seen Mary Poppins on stage? It's great evening in the theater, but to me it wasn't quite Mary Poppins. In the middle of it, this nanny dressed in black, all evil comes in and messes up the family. I don't know where that came from. And the family was a little too dysfunctional for me, you know. And it didn't have that a great evening in the theater.
Right. Very entertaining, and I don't know if you could really tell by the applause. We're all hoping you'll come back to New York in a show. And you did, in fact, you made several guest appearances when Cheetah Rivera was doing her one-woman show.
Yes, Cheetah Rivera's show. I mean, she is the most electric performer who ever stepped on the stage. My God, she's good. But she made me look like Fred Astaire. So when she got to the part of the show where she talks about Bye Bye Birdie, and they started playing Happy Face, I came out and we did the number together. I did about a week of that. What fun it was.
A great time.
Great to be back out there.
Well, I think you can tell by the applause. We all want you back.
Thank you. I guess just a couple of weeks ago, my brother Jerry and I did our version of the Sunshine Boys. 2 Jim's asked, we rewrote it a little bit, of course, but it just went great, and the Schuberts have asked us to come and do it. Here.
Yeah.
God knows what Neil Simon will say, though.
We are just about at the end of the half hour, and I wanted to end with something you wrote at the very end of the book, which I thought was so nice, and you can comment on it or not as you wish, but I think it sums up the way a lot of us feel about your career. And you say, "My life has been a magnificent indulgence. I've been able to do what I love and share it."